Hello, all you beautiful gamers. As per usual, hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to the Respawn Recap. Hello, Zan.
Hello, Jake.
You ready to roll into this week's of spicy topics?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's get into it. Hope you guys all enjoy. And definitely one of the biggest things this past week, I'm sure you had a time to take a peek at that because G2 Carl never lets us down.
Like the Twitter classic, I'd say.
I know, he really is. We've talked about him a lot in the past and probably will in the future. A personality out there certainly owning up to the success of G2. It was actually first brought up by Envy Hastro. In case you guys missed it, resurfacing this past week was the McDonald's story with Nadeshot. His past working for McDonald's, then to Optic Gaming as a pro player, and of course with 100 Thieves. A remarkable story that kind of sparked a bit of a response from Envy Hastro talking about what he referred to as hoodie selling organizations, and also kind of wanted to stress that he wants to be a winning organization. And then we had a further follow-up tweet from our boy Carl, who never holds back on Twitter, and he directly references Hastro as a boomer and talks about Nadeshot selling cream hoodies. So it was a spicy take, to say the very least.
Yeah, it's shots fired all around. It, like, you know, there was like so much like shrapnel just going everywhere from these tweets. But you know, there is points being made on all sides,
all around,
which makes it hard to like debate if there is a winner or not amongst this entire situation. But you love to see these CEOs in particular being like very public about these conversations, because you got to know they're happening behind closed doors as well.
100%, and certainly they are all making these statements for a reason. Someone who did not make a statement actually took to his stream to say he will not be responding. Kind of a classic for a guy like Nadeshot, and I would say in this case did not need to, because at least in our personal opinion, the bulk feedback we got was, you know, Envy talking about winning. They have a successful Call of Duty team. They might struggle elsewhere. Carlos, you know, G2 has been very dominant across multiple esports, and although 100 Thieves has been seen as the merchant apparel company, they are still doing very well and very prominently known for. Oh, baby. Oh, that was. I can't come back from opening up like that one. Anyway, moving into it, our second topic, frickin' A. We're talking about singing, and I couldn't think of lyrics to start that off.
You could have gone with anything. Like, you could have gone with Happy.
I was going to start singing Baby, Baby by Justin Bieber. Exactly. I sound so unlike the song. We're fine.
Okay, fair enough.
Anyway, a gigantic move made this past week in terms of collabs with artists and esports organizations. That's going to be T1, their League of Legends roster, and our boy Fakey Fake, Mr. Faker, is tuning in a show. It's actually going to be a two-part show in case you guys want to check it out, singing along and gaming along with BTS, one of the most world-renowned K-pop groups.
I'm honestly surprised it's taken this long for this type of thing to happen. I mean, BTS has been big for a while. Faker's been big for forever in esports, basically. But so this just seems like a match made in heaven.
Yeah, and it's we obviously love to hear this kind of news and see this kind of news. Also find out that Faker's got way better vocals
surprisingly
than someone like me. But to see the entire team get involved, and especially with them not making Worlds, they're still making gigantic bounce backs as an organization, I would say, in signings and expansions as of late. And this is certainly one of them. You know, we've seen Drake and Ninja. We've seen potentially 100 Thieves Courage and Ray, maybe getting like Ariana Grande involved. We've seen tons of artists investing into esports. And now BTS collabing with Faker. I mean, it makes headlines, and hopefully will continue to do so in the future. And definitely a very interesting story, probably for the future, is going to be Cloud9 maybe not being so much the goody two-shoes we are used to in the esports scene.
Yeah, this is definitely a weird one, especially because, you know, I look at a lot of contracts nowadays, and I got to wonder, how did this slip under the radar?
Yeah, and I think it's one that's going to continue to go under the radar and not really be worried about too much. But if you hear some dwindlings here and there of owners that are maybe upset at Cloud9, it does make sense. In case you guys found out this past week or missed it, it was actually Cloud9 signing a 13-year-old. He's about to be 14 years old, a Twitch streamer and very, very solid League of Legends player with a solid future. General Sniper has an older brother, Viper, with an LCS pro history, and was actually the youngest person to ever win a Twitch Rivals event at 13 freaking years old. You of course, no surprise as to why he would be signed.
Of course.
But unfortunately so, 2 hours after signing, it's Cloud9 that terminated his contract as they found out he's not old enough.
That gotta be such like a hard conversation to have. Like, you finally lock Sniper in, he's all excited.
The biggest moment of his life.
Yeah.
Probably.
And then 2 hours later, he like, psych, never mind.
Yeah, and you're being forced to make a tweet. Obviously, he has a great future. He will be signed when he is 15, the required age. The giant lingering question, now we have 2 off seasons and 2 contractual, rules kind of being broken by Cloud9. The LCS competitive ruling from last season involving, I think, 7 players inaccurately being given ownership when they weren't supposed supposed to have that. And now this dealing, you gotta wonder how you get this far along and not know the rules as Cloud9.
That's a fantastic question. Like Cloud9 is one of the biggest organizations in NA. I mean, arguably,
and in the entire world. I think a lot of people would argue that.
I think that's fair. And like, you gotta have somebody there who has like, some legal expertise with a monocle on, looking at the contracts, and they're like, oh, these are the rules. Maybe we should follow those. So, hopefully they get this sorted out.
Hopefully they can sort it out and learn from it. Cloud9, naughty list 2020. Here they come. And one of the hottest topics this past week was Pokimane making an update. In case you guys missed it a couple weeks back, she talked about stop giving free stuff to people with money. She meant it, I would say, in a pretty well-intentioned way, and then follows it up for any doubters of that statement by this past week working with Streamlabs to make her max donation now set at just $5.
This is something that's always going to be controversial, even though it is, a positive move as a whole. I mean, I think XQC addressed this very well in saying that, hey, it's a great move by Pokimane, but hopefully it doesn't make people look at other streamers and think, oh, now you're bad for not doing the exact same thing.
Definitely a very good take by XQC, and of course other streamers probably thinking in some way or another. We saw a lot of responses of people are going to somehow turn this against her. Hey, I think bottom line it's a great move, and
absolutely,
I think we'll see other streamers make it. Thanks to all of you guys who actually vote on our community polls. I mean, the response there has been incredible. We actually received 36,000 votes, which just kind of blows my mind to think about, and of that I believe 75% of those were actually people who don't really donate to streamers at all, but of the people that did agree, or I guess I should say a solid percentage of the remaining two options, they did say if they are going to donate, that's a pretty solid amount to do so, and they respected a move like that of Pokimane. So we'll see what other streamers do follow suit. I think we will, and when they do, we'll keep on talking about it. In a story stemming way back, obviously the lingering mystery does continue for a guy like Doc, and this is going to be, it's going to be an ongoing thing until we truly do find out. We found out months ago, but certainly retouched on this past week in a video we covered, is we've only found out a few sources out there that actually banned Doc alongside Twitch. Remember, he was given that permanent ban via Twitch. He was then apparently had a partnership with Discord taken back. Everyone else kept him on until recently in a stream he actually came out and said that apparently Activision has now cut him as a COD partner following very shortly after his Twitch permanent ban.
As surprising as this may sound, I'm not surprised that Activision would make a move like this, because at the end of the day, Activision is Activision. Call of Duty is successful. It will always be successful despite whatever else going on with the title. And so at the end of the day, they don't need Doc. So avoiding whatever potential really bad situation he was in just sounds like a very careful, potentially smart move on Activision's part.
Yeah, and it came around the same time as COD creator codes finally came out as well. That initially left out a bunch of people. Those people, and luckily players and streamers and well-known names, now have COD creator codes. Doc was also left out of that discussion. Bottom line, your point does make sense. Vice versa, people's first thought is like what Doc kind of alludes to. He is still one of the biggest streamers out there, and especially with Call of Duty, he was a partner for the last 2 years. And so to be cut off, ironically timed with Twitch, I think it's left, wondering, was it just Activision saying, hey, let's just cut it off so there is no controversy, or does Activision also potentially know maybe what that reason was? It could be either or here and there, but either way, that Doc Twitch ban cost him much more than just a Twitch partnership. As per usual, we hope you guys all enjoy the Respawn recap. Once per week, we recap all of the craziest stories with all of you guys. Zan, it's great having you on.
Oh, thanks for having me,
As per usual, my man, you want to see them out the door?
Yeah, glad to do it. Have a great weekend, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. See you next week.
Bye-bye, gamers. Take care. Love you.